So in today's video, I'm going to be going over Thomas Road Mobile Home Park. This is a 32-unit mobile home park listing that I just brought out in Madison Heights, Virginia, just outside of Lynchburg, Virginia. It's maybe 10 or 15 minutes away from downtown. And the point of this video is to give you guys an overview and the overall deal story about what the income is, what your returns look like without having to do a deep dive into the financials. And then if you do plan to offer, obviously go through the rent rolls, go through the profit loss statements and things like that. But this should give you a gist of what to expect with this deal. So Thomas Road Trailer Park, you can see here on the front page of the offering memorandum. And to remind you guys, in the description of this video, or if you're watching this off of my email blast, a link to all of the financials, utility bills, offering memorandum will be either below this video or in the email. So overall, this is a very clean, relatively stabilized, majority park-owned home type deal with upside in both raising rents, and there's a lot of vacant, commercially zoned land that you could develop out into either more mobile home park pads or just different commercial businesses. But really, it's a stabilized deal with a lot of in-place cash flow. We're asking $1.65 million, which puts this at an 8.47% cap rate based on the current actual income today. And again, that's looking at the total income, including the park-owned home income, not just the lot rents. So you can see here some pictures. Clean-looking park. This is all the vacant land behind. Before I get into the actual financials of the deal and bore you guys with this package, you can see Lynchburg, Virginia. There's Walmart right down the street from this, Dollar General, Lowe's, Sam's Club, TJ Maxx, all of the major employers and retailers that you'd like to see. Lynchburg, Virginia is really a growing market. There's a lot of major syndication, private equity, and REIT operators in town. Our company actually sold a really large portfolio nearby, and the owner of that park's actually circling this. So just to give you guys an idea, there's a lot of demand in this area of Virginia. As far as the parcels and the vacant land that comes with the park, here's the existing park. This parcel is a little over 8 acres, and so is this one. About half of this is taken up by the park. So without doing an official measurement, we're looking at about 12.25 to 12.5 acres of vacant land that is zoned commercial. That's to be verified under due diligence, but wanted to show you guys that there is some expansion opportunity here. Again, location of Thomas Road in Madison Heights, Lynchburg, downtown Lynchburg's right here. Now, getting into the actual financials of this deal. So we have 17 tenant-owned homes at $400 a month lot rents. And then they're also billed back $40 a month for a flat water sewer charge. This is on city water and septic tanks for sewer. And then there are dumpsters for trash, but all tenants are billed $40 flat across the board for utilities. So you'll see effective lot rents is $440 a month, 400 plus 40. Your average park-owned home is $818 a month plus $40 utility bill back, and then we split out $418 from $400 just to separate out the park-owned homes from the lot rents, so it's easy to digest. There is one apartment unit at $500 a month, one single-family home at $1,700 a month. And then you have 2 storage sites that are right under the apartment unit. So it's a house with an apartment on top, 2 storage below. Those storage units are just vacant right now, but they can be rented out at $150 a month each. So that brings the total unit count to 32%. Technically, as far as the actual housing units, it is 100% occupied, but there are the 2 storage units that can be filled. So we wanted to point that out. Now, just quick pricing breakdown. When you look at how to value this park, like you could look at existing park values, probably somewhere just for the land, you're in like this $1.2 million range. Let's say $25,000 in value per park on home. That's about $275,000. And then you have undeveloped land value of $15,000 an acre, $180,000 ish. So that brings you to the total sale price of $1.65 million. Obviously, it's not looking at financials, but just top level. Hey, I want to look at this park. What are some ways I can attribute value? Like, they are really good condition park-owned homes, albeit they are older. The seller did a really good job rehabbing them. The vacant land does have value. Looking at different commercially zoned vacant land in the area, $15,000 an acre seems to be the going rate. And then existing sites at $400 lot rents, assuming a land value of close to $40,000 a site, does check out. If some of you guys run the 1% rule off lot rents, that's another way to look at it. But let's talk about just like true returns on your money without going deep into the upside and the other values. So currently, based off the current rent roll with the actual expenses, this park's running a total income. This is park-owned home rent, a lot rent income, total income of about $220,000. Expenses are running $80,000, which leaves you a net operating income of $140,000 or $139,692. So at the full asking price, $1.65 million is an 8.47% cap rate. That's with current actual income, not future year one rent growth and things like that. If you look at land-only cap rate at the full asking price is 6.35%. I do believe that on this, considering there's a lot of park on home income, you'll want to talk to a local bank to get all of the income financed. But you can see here, as far as expenses goes, we have taxes, $2,825. That's based on the current tax bill. Insurance, we assume $125 a unit. Staffing, we got free rent for an on-site guy. We're assuming 6% gross. But we're looking at 40% expense ratio on the land, 33% on the park on homes. All in all, we're close to a 40% expense ratio on the total operations. Now, a few things that play into effect with this park and kind of what the upside is. I want to talk about financials. So the sellers don't have exact profit loss statements per se. All of their rents get collected either through apartments.com or through mail-in money order or checks. All of it gets tracked through apartments.com. So as far as like profit loss statements and verifying income, they can pull the apartments.com like true collections over the last year, 2 years. So that'll be how you do that. We do have the current rent roll in the files. We have all of the fixed cost utility bills in the files as well. As far as deferred maintenance, really the only thing that's lacking on this park is condition of the roads. They don't need to be completely replaced, but you're probably gonna have to do a good amount of road work. Just to point that out, so I'll show that in here. As you can see, some of the roads are in rougher shape. Probably going to have to retop it or something like that. Now, as far as the upside of this deal, so lot rents are at $400 a month. Market can support $450 a month. It's $440, $400 plus $40 in utility bill back. You likely could raise these rents $50 a month. There's mainly a long-term tenant base there. Majority of the tenants are on month-to-month, so it'll be easy to raise those rents right away. So if you see here, in year one, we can get ourselves likely towards a $240,000 in gross income. Year two, $250,000. Year three, $260,000. And for that pro forma, all I'm assuming is bumping to $450 in year one, and then 5% rent increases across the board each year thereafter. So you can see here, your actual cash on cash returns of this deal are going to be very healthy going into it. And this is at the full ask price of $1.65 million. Obviously, if you plan to offer less than that, your returns are going to look way higher. So if you're someone that's looking for a relatively stabilized deal with really good cash flow, double-digit cash on cash returns in years 1, 2, and 3, and averaging high cash on cash returns, this is a really good deal for you. A lot of park on home income. A strategy you could operate this would be to sell off these park on homes at anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 per, and then raise the rents or attribute more rent to the lot portions. That way it's easier for bank financing and exiting down the road. But overall, yeah, it's a very stabilized deal. There's some upside with raising the rents to this park. And then really it's what other ways can you monetize a lot of this vacant land? Are you going to expand out the mobile home park? Are you going to put on a storage component? What can you do with this vacant land in addition to the park? There's a lot of stabilized cash flow going into it the way we have this priced. Where else are you guys finding in major cities? Deals priced near a 9 cap. And then if you offer below the asking price, let's say you're at 1.4, 1.5 million, you're close or north of a 10% cap rate. And that's on actual current true income. So if you guys are interested in this deal, I recommend click the links below, download the full financials. Like I mentioned, this is a relatively stabilized deal. You have really clean park on homes, really good tenant base. Collections are great across the board. It's currently making $140,000 a year with the current income. Likely going to be making $150,000, $160,000, $170,000 a year in the next few coming years, and that's with minimal improvements to the park. You don't need to do any crazy CapEx. You don't need to rehab homes. You don't need to bring in 10 homes. It's a stabilized deal, good cash flow in place, some upside. And then in addition, you have vacant land that can be expanded out into more of a park. So if you guys are interested in this, you can contact me direct. All my contact info is in the offering memorandum. And as usual, don't forget to subscribe to both the YouTube channel. If you guys are interested in a free evaluation on your mobile home park or are looking to sell, mhpvalue.com. And then if you want to see my current listings, mhpvalue.com/listings. Thanks for watching.